Many of the bodies brought to two funeral parlors remain unidentified. Relatives continue to flock to the two funeral parlors in search for their missing loved ones. Kenneth Paciente filed this report.
After the tragic incident in a casino last night, more than 30 deaths have been recorded. At exactly 4:30 in the afternoon, 16 remains of the victims in the said incident were brought to the Veronica Memorial Chapel in Pasay City. Aside from the 16 bodies, 2 bodies were brought in at noon, and the chapel confirmed that the gunman was one of them. Relatives of the victims patiently waited outside the chapel, praying for them to see their loved ones. Lourdes was looking for her daughter-in-law Rogie, who was a VIP host in the casino. What happened pains her because of the 2 daughters orphaned by Rogie.
Hindi daw niya alam kung saan siya magtatago, wala siyang pagtaguan doon sa Resort World. Tapos nag-text siya ulit, sabi niya bahala na mahal ko yung 2 bata.
Some can stop their anger, like Randolph who lost his uncle and cousin.
Kasi tagal na maghihintay, wala kaming ni Honey Ho. Kaya yung hirap para sa amin na gagawin ng tanga, na paikot-ikutin kami, di ba? Kaya ang hirap para sa amin, na totoo lang. Kaya mali ang Resort World, di ko alam kung gagawin namin dito.
Some of them just asked the help from the authorities of the casino.
Para na lang doon sa pamilya nila na sana bigyan silang tulong, pero hostage yung nangyari. Para nakakalungkot may mga anak pa yun eh.
Aside from the Veronica Memorial Chapel, some remains also arrived at Rizal Funeral Homes. John Doe and Jane Doe tags were put in the body bags, meaning to say the identities of the victims were not yet determined. That's why the relatives entered the morgue one by one just to determine if they are related or not. Meanwhile, bodies will undergo autopsy to be spearheaded by Dr. Voltaire Nulud, the medico legal of the Southern Police District.
Casualties in the tragic incident, of which 13 are our employees of Resorts World Manila, and 22 were our valued guests. The identities of 2 employees and 4 guests are still being validated as of this time. We are doing our very best to inform the families of the victims. We're extending all forms of assistance to the affected and next of kin. We are one in mourning with the families of those affected by this tragedy. This is also very, very difficult. A very difficult time for all of us here in Resorts World Manila. We consider our guests, our patrons, and our employees as our true family.
Following are the guests: Kakam Catherine Cervantes, Piling Hangli, Pasita Guillermo Comquilla, Pomenciano Vargas Jr., Susan Abulencia, Lai Wei Chong, Jaime Gaboy Jr., Ariel Abrogar, Lai Yuchi, Cliff Reynera, Rolando Peña Sison, Eluferio Reyes, Antonina Yuzon Alanigue, Sheila Malikse, Carmelita Tailo de la Cruz, Miel Oliveros, Pamela Silvestre, Elizabeth Gonzalez, and there are 4 still unidentified guests. For our employees, Hazel Yanko, Jella Ramos, Melvin Herrera, RV Gavino, BJ Pagsibigan, Rogie S. Uy, Jessica Alindogan, Meryl Gwen Ala, Leia Grace Mozo, Lodette Santos, Kay Noguera, and there are still 2 that are being identified.
Resorts World Manila's officials there reading out in a very emotional way the names of not just their employees who died in the incident early this morning, but also hotel guests. There were 13 employees and 22 guests. They also did say they have yet to identify 2 employees and 4 guests. Their identity is still being validated. Also earlier, Tomas Apolinario, the district director of the Southern Police District, Resorts World Manila being in Pasay City is in the under the jurisdiction of the SPD, saying that number one, first there are 36 casualties, well 35 casualties, hotel employees and guests of the hotel of Resorts World Manila and the gunman. That brings it to 36. They are also saying, Apolinario also saying, well, refusing to comment when media pressed him about the identity of the gunman. He said he could not give the name, although he is confirming that they do have a person of interest that they spoke to, and they are in possession of an official registration and certificate of registration of a vehicle that they are investigating. They did say, though, that the name of the owner that is on that OR and CR of the vehicle, they cannot release his name, but they did say that they spoke to this person of interest, and he denied that he knew the gunman. Apolinario also confirming information that they do have the backpack of the suspect. That suspect, by the way, according to Stephen Roddy, the COO of Resorts World Manila, was shot and wounded by security personnel of Resorts World Manila.
In the news tonight, at least 37 lives were snuffed out in a violent incident involving what authorities described as an emotionally disturbed individual at the Resorts World Manila early this morning. 54 other persons sustained injuries as they panicked in going out of the building after the gun-wielding man set fire to the gaming tables in the casino area, located at the second floor of the hotel. The victims, who were trapped in the second floor, apparently died of suffocation. The gunman is believed to have been burned to death. Authorities said the incident was a criminal act and not terror-related. More details from Rocky Ignacio.
Enjoin everybody and the entire nation to please pause for a few moments and remember in thought, in intention, in prayer, those who have died in Marawi and those also the unfortunate victims in Resorts World.
The government assured public that peace and order will prevail in Metro Manila. In the Mindanao Hour briefing, NCRPO Chief Police Director Oscar Albayalde said that the PNP is on top of the situation and that there is no reason for the public to be alarmed following the incident at Resorts World in Pasay City.
Well, generally, Metro Manila, we enjoy peace and order. No? Maganda yung prevailing peace and order dito sa Metro Manila. We have not monitored any threat on terrorism dito sa Metro Manila. And while wala naman tayo namomonitor na threat, no, hindi naman din talaga tayo pwedeng mag-relax. No? Our intelligence community is in constant monitoring of the possible mga threat groups who could be possibly here in Metro Manila, although wala tayong namomonitor na ganun.
In the initial investigation, the NCRPO chief ruled out terrorism and described the incident as criminal act by a mentally disturbed person.
We really could not tell the motive of the perpetrator, no. Pero apparently, he's mentally disturbed, no. At nakita naman natin, that's why we could not relate it to we cannot relate it to terrorism, is because he did not shot anybody, no? Wala siyang sinaktan doon, wala siyang binaril. He just went inside. He burned the gaming tables, no? At pinagbabaril niya is the doorknob of the storage where the chips were kept, and he stole 113 million worth of casino chips.
More than 30 persons were killed in the incident due to suffocation, including the suspect that allegedly killed himself. The PNP is still in full alert amidst the declaration of martial law in Mindanao. Malacanang has condoled to the bereaved families of the victims. Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella also encouraged public to refrain from spreading fake news that would result public anxiety.
We'd like to enjoin, especially the netizens, to please exercise responsibility and try to, I believe this is a particular historic moment for all of us to be able to come together, that in spite of all the differences, that we all work towards the preservation of peace and unity in the country. Siguro panahon po siguro ipairal ng ating pagmamahal sa bayan, a sense of patriotism, that we aim to build and to bring people together instead of trying to separate. No matter what our political colors are, we still have just one nation, one country.